Save $28 or more when you join today. We're raising the bar with these benches, and our hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all the best-in-class equipment we've always had. There's no better time to get stronger. So join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Find your nearest club and join today. Deal ends September 12th.
See Home Club for details.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has zero hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley.
Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
All right, welcome to Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket, Friday, September the 12th. Game day tomorrow, 11 a.m. kickoff, Houston Christian TV, Fox Sports 1. How you doing, Bock?
Oh, I'm doing better now that it's one day closer to game day. I'll be excited. I'm especially doing better now that I know they're going to wear the all red, something I've been waiting for my entire life. Nebraska has not done this. They did have the one, what do they call it? The Scrabble game against Wisconsin in 2012 where they had the alternate uniforms and they were all red, but that was black helmets, a big black N on the front. So that's a bit of a different situation. Traditional look outside of just wearing all reds. I'm excited. I saw somebody on the text line earlier say, I've been doing it in the video game for years. Of course, the recruits have been doing it over the years when they come into town and take their pictures. So it'll be exciting to finally get to see it out there on the field. Trell, didn't you have a story about asking Tom Osborne about trying to go all red one time? And
cut it off quick. No comment. No, he didn't even have an answer for us. He said no.
yeah.
He said no. Just quick question, quick answer. Red? No. Okay, let's play football. Today's going to be a hard show for me.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I lost my dog, Bandit, who I've had the pleasure of spending the last 7.5 years with. He was attacked by a dog next door. Was going to have surgery this morning. He was 14 years old. He would have had a long recovery, so the best thing we could do was to put him to sleep. Still hurting about this. Like I said, you would never meet a better dog than Bandit. He was always by your side, had the prettiest brown eyes that you ever seen in your life. Probably one of the smartest dogs. He was a border collie. And he's gonna be missed, man. And I wish I was there to protect him like he's always been there to protect me. But Unfortunately, things happened, and I didn't want him to go out this way, but he's in dog heaven now. And this show is for you, Bandit.
Absolutely.
All right, Bob. I got 2 other puppies, though. So, my job is to make sure that I can continue to care for them and be there for them. But, right now it's kind of hard right now.
I can definitely I understand that. It is tough. I mean, obviously dogs are real close to family. They become part of it, and especially one that, like you said, you spend a significant amount of your time with. It's crazy. I mean, you go home, they're so excited to see. It's just part of your everyday life. So absolutely, it's my dog's up there in age too, so I'm not looking forward to the day. But what I always kind of think, and it's also in Bandit's case, is that, man, 14 years, that's a long time for a dog. So,
great
you
life,
lived a good
great
life.
dog. Just lost for words right now. Got to try to get through the show.
Yeah.
Been on my mind. Had to do it at 6:00 this morning. So I said my goodbyes and stuff like that. So, all right, Bob, let's talk some football.
There we go.
All right. Game notes for tomorrow. Malcolm Hosdog is questionable. For the Houston Christian game, replacement Jameer Khan.
Yeah.
Where is he from, Bob?
I have to look into that a little bit more, but I do know Jameer Khan is listed as the top backup, but they might. It depends on kind of the packages you're working with. Donovan Jones might also get the start if they kind of rotate him in. So that'll be kind of interesting. But it is. I mean, Jameer Khan has just recently made his Husker debut, right? We don't have all that much to know about him. Obviously, it was an addition from the transfer portal from the FCS level. He was a Saluki, Southern Illinois, before playing at Nebraska. So not all that much information outside of that about Jameer. 5'11", 180 pounds, hometown of KC, Missouri. So you can kind of keep all that stuff in mind. But we might see more of Jameer Khan.
All right, Bob. Like we said, red uniforms tomorrow. Why not a good game? Why do we have to pick a team like Houston Christian to wear these uniforms? I mean, you have Michigan coming up next week. You have USC coming up. What you say you want a blackout? I understand that part, but you have all these home games, and we pick Houston Christian to do a red out.
Well, I think there's a history and a belief within this fan base that Nebraska does not win in all reds. I think that was part of Tom Osborne's reaction to you guys thinking about all red. It was taught to me as a younger man. I've always wanted to see it, and my dad would always tell me they did not win in those, so they've kind of gone away from it. There might be this feeling that they curse or whatever it might be. So this is a perfect way to break the curse. A game that more so than any in recent history that you are almost guaranteed a W. Obviously, coming off a big win over Akron, you feel like everything should be in a line for you to win it. So I think it's a little bit of breaking the so-called curse and a little bit of just trying to get a little bit more into this game as well. It's something unique. Obviously, there's not the excitement for this game that there will be the Michigan game. So just giving a little bit to the fans and a little bit of a different look this week when you're going up against Houston Christian.
All right, Bob, does it seem like us as a university and fans of Nebraska football that we're trying to take the easy way to get good records in football? I mean, I'm not trying to be a spoiler, but it seems like when we play these teams, we're playing 2 back-to-back FCS teams, and really not great competition. Does those 2 help you down the line, these 2 victories?
It's interesting because Akron is a MAC team, so they're in the FBS. But I'd be interested to see a game against one of the top FCS teams. I mean, I think they certainly could be upended. We saw last week, by the way, a couple other teams, MAC teams. Eastern Michigan lose to Long Island University in FCS. We saw UMass lose to Bryan. I believe they're in the MAC. So at this point in time, so it's possible. I mean, that you could get more of a test out of this. I've been saying this. I kind of feel like if they had known Akron, and they know. I mean, Akron's a struggling program. Has had like 2 winning seasons, or maybe one since 2005 or something like that. It's been a long time, so they kind of knew, and they set it up this way. But I think if they knew that they would beat down Akron 68-0, they might challenge at least a little bit stiffer competition this week, because that's kind of the game you want, right? You want a game that bolsters, stat padding, bolsters your confidence, all that sort of thing. To get it in back-to-back weeks kind of feels like you're kind of repeating what was going on last week. And that's why it makes it kind of interesting for this game. And again, maybe why they're wearing all reds, or just trying to do something to try to get to differentiate this week a little bit. Will it hopefully is the idea obviously behind it is to obviously get some W's, work toward that bowl game. Nebraska, remember, that hasn't been a given over the years. They did get one last year, but as they've been kind of setting the schedule up, so there is that. But the other part of it is you hope that it builds enough confidence that it gets you going into Michigan. So, I mean, if they come out and beat Michigan, then I think the strategy worked. You built up enough confidence to get it rolling. I don't think it'll necessarily hurt them down the line. Had a close game with Cincinnati, similar to what a lot of teams across the country do. But I do think that, again, maybe if they knew what was going to happen from the Akron game, you might do a little bit more of a competition game going into Michigan.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, you have to get ready in some capacity, but I think when we say play these FBS teams or these Power 5 teams, I guess what I'm saying is add a little thump to them. Not just a team you have to build a speech up off just because you couldn't score 40 and a half. That's probably one of the reasons I say that, because I don't think a coach has to get you ready for a team like Houston Christian or a team like Akron. Now, Houston Christian, formerly known as Houston Baptist, only been playing football for, 13 years, 12 years.
Well, and it's interesting just to look at the strategy altogether, and generally for a lot of times it used to be, you'd play that FCS team in week 1, kind of warm you up, be your preseason of sorts, and then get into your FBS competition. Of course, conference competition down the line. As we know, TV revenue, TV broadcasts have kind of ruled the world in sports. And so this kind of became an idea of, all right, let's put a big game out in week 1. All right, we need a big game every week. And so these games kind of get shuffled down. We've seen the SEC put them at the back end of the schedule, as of, the last several years, after conference play for many of those teams heading into rivalry weekend. So it's kind of weird how they kind of get all shuffled all over. I think if you did it ideally, you would think maybe game 1, but you're a big proponent of playing a huge game in game 1. So
the reason I say this, Bock, is because now you look at a team like Notre Dame, who's 0-1.
Yeah.
Who's played 2 ranked opponents. If they lose tomorrow, they're 0-2. But when it comes down to it, Bock, would you rather have a 9-3 Notre Dame team or a 10-2 Nebraska team? And they have to compare strength of schedule, Bock. Who do you think wins that battle?
Well, it's interesting because, right, I mean, you look at Notre Dame, they started off difficult. After this weekend, as of now, and there's some teams that probably will be ranked at some point, but those are the 2 ranked teams on Notre Dame's schedule. So it would pretty much balance out. USC is down on the schedule for Notre Dame. We'll see if they jump in. Of course, they're with Nebraska as well as being a ranked team on the schedule. The other teams that are ranked that you look at Nebraska as of now, again, Penn State and Michigan. Do we know if Michigan will be ranked there? So it could be pretty comparable by season's end. It's just, again, do you want to take that challenge up front? Do you want to spread it out? Do you want to put it in the back end of your schedule? And you really, a lot of times when it comes to, non-con and all that sort of stuff, well, conference play specifically, you don't have much of a choice to do it. It's just kind of the schedule you get. So, I mean, I get what you're saying, though. I mean, you could play more level competition. I think from Nebraska's standpoint, they clearly got a test out of Cincinnati. Cincinnati might not be a top 5, top 15 team, but it was enough of a test that and you got the W that I think you're happy with the non-con this year as far as you get through it. But again, I think tomorrow is a little bit about what does it look like, right? More so than do you win? Because obviously, if you lose, we've got much bigger things to talk about. They're expected to win. Now they got to go out there and show that last weekend wasn't just everything kind of happened to play together. Akron might be especially bad. Prove to us, prove to Husker Nation, prove to college football world, that's a Nebraska thing. You put in these lower level competition against us, that's what's going to happen on a week-to-week basis, not an Akron-Nebraska matchup thing.
All right, 1508 says, Next season, Nebraska plays 2 MAC team and an FCS team before Big Ten play.
Yeah.
He also says, should Notre Dame get penalized for handpicking their schedule?
I mean, obviously they've got the deal with the ACC. They haven't been penalized in the past. There are special Notre Dame rules back in the BCS era where if they went 10-2, didn't have to go 11-1. 10-2 would get Notre Dame into a BCS game. So I mean, they've always kind of had special rules. I think it's overblown sometimes to think that they don't have a difficult schedule or they control their own schedule. They play, look at the amount of Power 4 teams that they play. And I think it's 10 of them, which is right on pace with what most teams do. So I wouldn't worry too much about that at that point. As far as next year's schedule, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, that was kind of a talking point as Matt Rule talked to Pat McAfee, because they were talking about Ohio this week. Ohio got a big upset win over West Virginia last week. Remember West Virginia coming in? I mean, they got the backyard brawl this week. They were maybe overlooking Ohio. But we're coming in with the expectations, the return of their old coach, Rich Rodriguez, that was going to be flying high. Ohio pushed Rutgers in week 1. They beat West Virginia in week 2. So it's interesting. That might be more of a matchup or a challenge than people initially think. But my point of the whole thing is that, remember, that was the schedule and the adjustment to take Tennessee off the schedule because the SEC was not agreeing to play 9 conference games. Now that the SEC has, I'll be interested, maybe not through the season, but through the offseason too, to look at the future schedules for Nebraska. I don't know if they're going to do it in time to kind of fix next year's, where you don't have a Power 4 opponent in the offseason and in the non-con. I wouldn't expect that to be the case, but I think down the line, maybe after next season, you're going to see a return to some power, at least one Power 4 opponent in the non-con for Nebraska.
All right, Bock, these guys are usually right sometimes, but sometimes they can be wrong. Now, ESPN writers projected Nebraska is only week 2, Bock, but they projected Nebraska will play in the Music City Bowl or the Las Vegas Bowl.
Yeah, a solid enough prediction as of right now. I've seen some other things Adam Carricker was bringing up earlier, that Nebraska had the 13th or tied for 13th most odd to make the playoffs. Of course, you'd be playing in a better bowl
27%.
Yeah.
Nebraska's 27% chances to make college playoffs according to ESPN FPI.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's pretty high up there. So it is early. Like you said, I'm kind of more interested in the matchups. Obviously, want to play in better bowl games than those. But we'll see. I mean, it depends on who you're asking, how much they bought into Nebraska. We'll know a lot more. We'll feel a lot more. At least I feel like we know a lot more once Nebraska plays Michigan, and whatever the result of that game may be, we'll have a better idea where Nebraska's season is headed.
All right, now we talk about Houston Christian coming in here. Bock, what do you expect, and how long you expect Dylan and the starters to probably roll tomorrow?
See, I think that's among the most interesting questions for this game, because I think you play a half, right? You play at least a half a ball, see where it is. Last week it was 33-0. They trotted him back out and played him a few more possessions, kind of mid-third quarter type of thing. I would expect the same thing. That was their plan for last week. I think that should be a similar plan this week. And similar type of thing. I mean, you're not going to carbon copy it, but try to make the second half mean something. Work on some things. At the same time, you're directly facing Michigan at that point. You got to win in your belt. You want to try to keep the guys healthy. So you kind of got to blend those type of ideas. So I wouldn't be surprised if they pull them at halftime. This, being the second of an expected blowout game. Obviously, if it's a closer game, then all this conversation is off the table. But I would expect them maybe to be pulled, maybe get a series in the second half. But I would not be against them doing more, because that's what I've been saying all along about last week's game and coming into this game. Just because you're playing a lesser opponent doesn't mean you only get, doesn't negate the fact you only get 12 of these games, 24 of these halves per year. So you got to get something out of it. And last week, it was still a little bit of working with the ones and then providing the depth, the opportunity. And they can build depth in this game by pulling those guys mid-third quarter or just having them play completely in the second half. So I don't think it's I don't I don't think it's a big deal one way or the other, a huge deal, I should say, whether they play a few series or not in the second half. It's not going to upset me, but I do think it is interesting, and it kind of lets you know a little bit more about their mindset this week as opposed to last week about maybe the opponent coming up and keeping guys healthy and all that, that we'll see at halftime against Houston Christian.
All right, Bock, when we talk about the younger guys, some of them, this will be probably their third game. Some of it probably be their second game. Do you put a timer on them after this game to say, okay, we don't need you to dress for the Michigan game, or we don't expect you to play? How do we monitor these guys that's borderline red shirt, borderline can go for the rest of the season?
It surprises me sometimes to hear over the years. I kind of always figured there was a little bit more structure in doing so. I think if you're doing it right by the kids and if you're doing it right for your team, those can be two different thoughts at times. And especially in today's day and age, you got to do right for your team, the current team, because there's so much roster movement. If you hold off and say, okay, well, we want to keep this guy's red shirt for the 2028 season, we think we'll be better in a position. I don't think that's necessarily going to help you. Now, you hope everybody stays, but we know how much turnover there are in the rosters these days. So I think you hopefully have, the people in place. The kids certainly should know when they're counting those games about kind of what's being asked of them. If it's the last game against Iowa, once it gets toward the end of the season, I think they'll keep a closer eye on it. Right now, they're probably just kind of playing them a little bit more of whoever's on the field and trying to get guys in specifically for this game. But I think, once you kind of get into later into the season, you'll have more of an idea, and maybe hopefully somebody has a very very peculiar eye, on that list, and to see what kind of means for a guy to go out there. Because it does surprise me. I've heard stories of just kind of like, all right, this guy had one more chance or one game left, and they used it on him playing special teams when they're up 45-7 or something. And you're going, well, that's not worth burning the red shirt. So, you just want to make sure nothing like that slips through the cracks.
All right, Buck. What else? Oh, I lost the throat. Vegas. Fight night tomorrow night. Will you be up for it, Buck?
I'm going to try to stay up. It's going to be late. We mentioned before, these boxing events go well into the night. Canelo Alvarez's last 7 fights have went the distance. Could certainly see this one going. So it could be a late night, but absolutely. I mean, there's few boxing matches that kind of stand the test of time, or really, in the very least, kind of are the marquee match, boxing match of the year. And there's only, you go over the last 15 years, you can kind of think of, certain ones that kind of stand out in your head. This is going to be one of those. So again, it doesn't happen every year. So it's a big time kind of throwback to when boxing ruled the nation as the number one sport. And obviously football is still going to continue to rule it. But that combined with the local flair, the local spotlight of having one of our own, go for history, something that's never been done before, and is a bit of an underdog going in, having to add on weight against Canelo Alvarez. I would think that everybody's excited for it. I've been to a Bud Crawford fight. Didn't have to travel far. I went to the one against Ndongo in Lincoln. It was an incredible experience. It definitely felt like a home Husker game. Going to be a little bit different, obviously, in Vegas, but I can't wait for that fight.
All right, Bob. Is it also Tyson's fighting Merriweather in an expedition match? Did you see that lately?
Is he doing that like on the prelims or something?
No, not this fight, but I know they're gonna fight. Tyson might get him because of that comedy he made about Muhammad Ali a long time ago. All right, 93.7 The Ticket, Bock in the Black Shirt. We'll be right back. And when we come back, Bock, what does Dylan Raiola have to do to get in on the Heisman talk? We'll talk about the Heisman odds for week 2 when we come back. 93.7 The Ticket, Bock in the Black Shirt.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has expanded strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today. We're raising the bar with these benches, and our hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all the best-in-class equipment we've always had. There's no better time to get stronger. So join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Find your nearest club and join today. Deal ends September 12th.
See Home Club for details.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. M-Suits Clothiers, Lincoln's favorite men's store. Family-owned and operated, located 1 block south of 56th and Pine Lake Road. Go bold this summer and fall with endless possibilities. Stop in now for the best selection on sweaters, outerwear, suits, sport coats, dress pants, and dress shirts. M-Suits Clothiers, your menswear store.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a few sprinkles possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It'll be breezy and hot with a high near 92. Tonight, mainly clear skies, continued breeze, low around 71. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It'll be breezy and hot with a high near 94. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
From the capital to castles, starting this December, fly nonstop from Lincoln to Orlando with service from Breeze Airways. That's right, nonstop flights to Orlando out of LNK are starting this December. You're now just a flight away from Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, and the Space Coast. Stretch out and relax on Breeze with complimentary family seating. Book your magical getaway now at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. Bock and the Blackshirt here. We are powered by Bauer.
Infrastructure.
Bauer.
Underground.
Barrett.
Excavating.
All right, Bock. I'm after week 2. Heisman odds. Garrett Nosmer, plus 900. John Mater, plus 900. Carson Beck, 1,000. Dante Moore, 1,000. Arch Manning, plus 1,200. Lenore Sellers plus 1,500. Gunnar Stockton plus 1,500. And Utah quarterback Devon Dampier plus 1,500. Also plus 2,000, Drew Aller, Jeremiah Smith, Julian Sayers, Jackson Arnold, and Thomas Castanelos from Florida State. What do Dylan have to do to get in on this Heisman talk? Understand you could put a guy in there like Arch who's already at plus 1,200, but Dylan's played more games than him. What do Dylan need to do statistic-wise and win-wise for him to get in this Heisman talk, Bob?
Well, I think it's interesting. I think a lot of those names are still names from the preseason, right? Trying to reorder them. A couple of those names have fallen a little bit further that, would be kind of surprising to me. Jeremiah Smith amongst them. There's another quarterback you mentioned in that grouping that fell a little bit from the preseason to where they are now. Obviously, Arch Manning fell a little bit, but the name, here's the way that I'll answer this is the name that wasn't on those list preseasons was Davon Dampier, like you said, with Utah. He's a transfer from New Mexico. And so far, he was 21 of 25 for 206 yards and 2 touchdowns, also 87 yards on the ground and a touchdown against UCLA. So I think a lot of that was just kind of the explosion, the big time, maybe upset or surprise. And so Nebraska has to kind of get into that category, right? In my mind. And that's where you kind of circle Michigan. I don't know if it wouldn't be a shock. I don't know if at this point Utah beating UCLA was a shock after we saw UCLA follow through the next week and get a loss. But I think it's somewhere it's kind of do something noticeable, like Dampier did with Utah, and beating Michigan would be noticeable, and start to kind of move them up there. And then just keep the statistics up there. If you can get another 4 touchdown passes this week, something like that, 3-4 touchdown passes, don't include a pick. Get some good non-con numbers to bolster your conference numbers, which are going to inevitably be down a little bit. That's the goal. So, I mean, I don't think it can happen after this weekend, short of throwing for 9 touchdowns or something like that. But I think you circle Michigan. I think you have to do something that's not expected of you, and there's nothing that's not expected of Dylan against Houston Christian. But to go out there and beat Michigan, that'll put Nebraska, that'll put Dylan, that'll put Husker Nation on the radar nationally.
All right, Anthony Portland, I like his answer. Signature wins. You win against Michigan. You win against USC. You beat the teams you should beat. Then you get in that conversation. You go to Penn State with an 8-1 record, then enroll is in that talk.
Yeah.
You have to have him in that talk. You have to put him in there. When you talk about his stats, Bach, they're great stats. 2 games, 15 to 73, 607 yards, 6 touchdowns, no INTs, no turnovers. Averages 305 a game, 303 a game. Can't ask for more than that, Bob. When you look at it as opponents, the teams we face, that's why we talk about these DBs. They 22 of 48, one INT, 0 touchdowns, 65 a game passing.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the just kind of keep on what he has been doing. It is exciting just to kind of follow this too, because I know it was kind of circled earlier in the week, and he does have, again, 2 opportunities to kind of have stat games here. Who knows down the line? There might be some more opportunities. Of course, Big Ten play, expect less of that. But like I'm saying, I mean, Deshaun Foster loses tonight in New Mexico. I mean, I don't know what UCLA would look like by the time that game comes around. They've got New Mexico tonight. That's what I'm saying.
He'd be fired.
Which would be so. I mean, be on the lookout. There could be a stat game down the line, but not likely. So this is kind of your last one to really kind of add that to your stat. But like you said, everybody kind of can put up some big numbers against bad teams for stats. Just helps the overall look of it. But it's going to be signature wins. It's going to be rising up the program altogether. If Nebraska's in the top 15, and it would be hard to imagine Nebraska doing that without Dylan Raiola having a heck of a year. If they're in the playoff contention, they can be right in there. We've seen quarterbacks, Johnny Manziel, Lamar Jackson, win with 4 losses on the season. So it can be done there too, but you've got to just kind of take over the nation, be clearly the best player, get those signature wins like those guys did, have the Heisman moment. and then not be the reason you do lose some of those games as well. So, I mean, there's kind of an outside shot that can happen, but more likely than not, individual success is going to be tied to Nebraska winning a lot of games.
Well, I like the part when you say Johnny Manziel and Lamar Jackson. There's a difference between them and Dylan Raiola, Bob.
Yeah.
Dylan has help. Those guys didn't. Especially Lamar Jackson. He was running for his life. Now, when we talk about, I like old dad. If Dylan can beat Penn State in November, he'll be on the list to New York.
Again, a lot to figure out. If Penn State is where they are now, then yes. But we'll have to see. Penn State's got some tests ahead of them. Maybe have underwhelmed a little bit out of the get-go going into the season. So again, just so much can kind of change. Nebraska can only work on and carry on themselves. So it's kind of like a week-to-week thing. Just kind of don't have that game that screws it up, right? Even if you have fantastic numbers, if you do have great numbers outside of it, you finish the season with 6 picks, but 4 of those were against Michigan in an embarrassing loss that kind of takes Nebraska out of it for the time being. That's the game people are going to circle back and say, yeah, well, this is too ugly. You can't have that ugly game that takes you out of it. To be fair, I mean, I don't even think that Heisman consideration probably is all that fair for Dylan Raiola right now, or really should be taking up too much of our airwaves here, because there's a lot of steps in between where Dylan is at now, or the expectation should be, and then kind of that Heisman expectation. But I also am not, naive to understand that that's the hope. That has been the hope since he signed with Nebraska, is that he could kind of be the guy that saves the program, and in part of that, be kind of the, like I said, kind of leads the program, saves the program, all that, and we're hoping that that's kind of coming into fruition. So as we watch it play out here, you just they've got to do what Nebraska teams haven't done in the longest time, which is win all the games they're expected to, win some that they're not, and make a true run at the playoffs. They've got to be in playoff consideration. I'd be pretty surprised if this year's Heisman winner is not on a playoff team.
Yeah, me too, Bach. All right, Bach, let's go to running back. Once we get past Emmett Johnson, Bach, there's no real number 2 to me on this running back order. When you look at Emmett Johnson, who's 2 games, 39 carries, 251 yards, 6.4 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns, long 47. When you look at the people behind him, Bach, Quinn Nyes, he's second, 4 carries, 34 yards, 1 touchdown. Kenneth Williams, 1 attempt, 15 yards. Makai Nelson, 6 for 12. Isaiah Moe, 1 for 0. We have to establish this week, Bach, a guy that can carry the ball more than 10 times besides Emmett Johnson when we look at this, Bach, because if Emmett goes down, I don't think we gave these backs enough resources or enough experience to carry the ball 20 times like he did.
Yeah, I think it'd surprise a lot of people.
And why I say this, Bob, because your leading carrier behind attempts, behind his 39 yards, is Dylan Raiola with 7 carries,
yeah,
for 22 yards. Makai Nelson, 6. Connor Booth, 2. Janarian Bonner, out for the season, 2. Heinrich, 1. Isaiah Mosaic, who I think will be an excellent third down back for the things he do after the catches. TJ Lateef, 2. Quinn Nyes, 4. And that's what I'm saying about. We have to establish a backup guy in case something happens to Emmett.
No, I absolutely agree with you. And it's kind of interesting, too, as we kind of note this, because we talk about different things that can be done in this Houston Christian game, and you bring it up. I think the running back battle could be, you could take significant strides forward in figuring out who's ready. I mean, because at this time, they've had glowing things to say about all 3 of them, but you kind of have to just kind of see who's the gamer. I thought Isaiah Mosaic looked that part last week. I would like to see him get a few more attempts this week. But you've got 3 guys that you kind of got trying out for it to figure out who that backup guy should be. And so as we look into this week and we think, well, they won last week against Akron 68-0. What's more important this week, winning 68-0 or maybe winning 45-0, or, whatever score it is, 68-3, 45-3, and knowing who your backup running back is. You might score less if you kind of have a heavy, dominant second half of running the ball more than passing and trying things out with TJ Lateef and stuff. But that might be a specific strategy that I would use if I'm Nebraska, is we do run heavy in the second half, and it might look like we're not trying to add on points or whatever it might be. But in reality, you give each one of these guys, 7 carries or whatever it might be in the second half, and really get an idea of who's hitting the holes, who's breaking tackles, who might be a gamer out of them. So, I'm interested too. Emmett Johnson, we talk about it. I think you'll probably do what you did last week with him, give him about 15 touches, and that'll be enough. Wouldn't be so much focused on the yards. You'd like him to get 100, right? But it might be a strategy of them as well, just to say, you know what, Emmett, we're going to give you 8 carries this game. We know what we got with you. We want to, whatever, get a few yards in here so you don't take the week off. But we really need to figure out what we've got behind you. I think that this is a perfect time for them to do so.
Yeah, and when I say this, Bach, I say it with no disrespect, because if you don't have a second-tier running back by the time Big Ten play starts, it's going to be ugly for us, because especially if Emmett goes down and you have a guy with 8 carries, touched the ball 8 times. That's not going to be right for the running game. It's not going to be right for Dylan, because now I think once you lose Emmett, you go into a passing frenzy, and now you don't have a running game. You have a running back by committee with no one who's ever stepped up to take that role over.
Yeah, you could certainly see that. And that was a question, a concern all in the offseason. Again, remember, they did not go to the portal. They thought about it for a half second with Shamar Brown. Obviously he went off to Miami. And so they did not really even target anybody on the portal. So they felt good about this all along. Kind of got mixed signals, from them at times too, about who's going to be that guy. They've got to test it out. They got to find it out, because it's still as excited as we are at the beginning. You're right. One injury to Emmett, and you wonder, would they become one-dimensional offense? Or somebody could step in at that time, fill it well. You figure out who it is then. But you want to have a better idea of that in case that situation pops up.
I like this one right here. 1562 says the offense needs a 220 downhill back to complement them, and we don't have it. The guys behind Emmett are afraid of contact. It's going to be sore spot for this team all year long. I like when he says that, because Quinn Nyes is a big guy. I don't know how much faith they has in Quinn Nyes. That's the guy we seen in the bowl game last year. But this year, how many times we seen him run the ball? Oh, 4.
4
in 2 games. Don't know if that's going to cut it. This has been running back youth for a long time. We always had running backs, but now I think we're only down to 1. Somebody has to step up big, take it over this game. Make it yours. Go take it, Quinn Nyes. Go take it, Mose. Go take it. That's what you got to do. 93.7 The Ticket. Bock the Blackshirt. We'll be right back.
From the capital to castles, starting this December, fly nonstop from Lincoln to Orlando with service from Breeze Airways. That's right, nonstop flights to Orlando out of LNK are starting this December. You're now just a flight away from Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, and the Space Coast. Stretch out and relax on Breeze with complimentary family seating. Book your magical getaway now at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
A fall aeration by Judson Irrigation will help maintain your lawn by maximizing the effectiveness of your watering and fertilization. Judson will flag the locations of your sprinkler heads, followed by a deep core aeration to give your lawn the breath of fresh air it needs. Schedule your aeration today. Your lawn will love you for it.
Let us aerate today to ensure a healthy head start for your lawn next spring. Go to judsonirrigation.com or call Judson Bylene 402-420-6277.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197 assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Over 75% of the patients that come to Limitless Male have been told over and over again by their primary care providers that their testosterone level is fine. Guess what? If you have all the symptoms of low testosterone, you're not fine. Come get a second opinion at Limitless Male. We have helped tens of thousands of men feel optimal again, and we can help you. Stop waiting. Come see the men's health experts. Book your free consult online at limitlessmale.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Hi, this is Tom Osborne. Join me on September 23rd and dine at your favorite local Renza in support of Teammates Mentoring. 10% of Renza sales on September 23rd will benefit your local Teammates Mentoring chapter. Teammates Mentoring helps students reach their full potential by providing a caring adult mentor to meet with them once a week in school. Thank you for your support of Teammates Mentoring. We will see you at Runza on September 23rd.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. Nebraska volleyball takes on number 22 Utah tonight, 6 p.m. TVFS1 at John Cook Arena at the Bock the Center. Bock, what's your take on this? They done played a lot of ranked teams this year for a volleyball team. They done been through probably half of the top 25 so far, it seems like.
Yeah, it's another exciting night. Always a tough ticket to get here in Lincoln if you're looking for volleyball. Like you said, I mean, they've been taking on all comers, anybody that's willing to take a swing at the number one team. So we'll see what they're able to do. Should be exciting. And like you said, it should be at least a matchup that Utah is going to give them a little bit of something. So as we know, if you've kind of followed Nebraska before, Kentucky, started off with, winning 2 sets against Nebraska. They had to kind of do the reverse sweep a little bit while ago. Of course, Kentucky higher rated than Utah, but could see a similar situation. I always I just kind of tell everybody how difficult it would be to go undefeated. So the sky is not falling if it does happen. But I'm not expecting that. Nebraska just has been overwhelming their opponents so far. Hopefully after tonight, we can add Utah to the list.
All right, Buck. Now, NCAA longest active home win streak, Buck. Who you got? Who you think?
College football?
Yeah, college football.
Let's go with the Dogs, Georgia.
Oh, Buck, you're good. Who's number 2? It's a Big Ten team, number 2.
Big Ten, number 2. Okay.
And 3.
Was that Michigan law? Yeah, they've had. That's not Ohio State, I don't think. Penn State?
No.
Oregon.
They're number 3.
Number 3.
Number 2, Buck.
And it's not Ohio State.
No Ohio State.
Yeah, because they've
not
lost to
Penn
Michigan at
State.
least here recently. Not Oregon.
Not Minnesota.
Not Minnesota. Ooh, man, that's interesting.
Starts with a W, but not Wisconsin.
All right, well, that makes it easier. Washington.
Washington at 22 home game winning streak.
I did
Buck.
not know that. Wow.
All right. Hey, Buck, now, Tennessee, Georgia's playing.
Yeah.
Georgia hasn't lost to Tennessee in the last 8 tries. Who was the vice president the last time? Who was the president last time Tennessee beat Georgia?
Let's see, 8 years, at least 9 years ago. It'd be like, what, 2016? No, Obama then. Go with Obama.
The last time
Tennessee
has beaten Georgia, Barack Obama was the president. Candace Parker will be on College Game Day. For y'all who don't know who Candace Parker is, one of the greatest basketball players ever to grace us with her talent for women's basketball, and played for the University of Tennessee when Pat, what was her name? Pat Summit was there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, this Tennessee game too, like you said, was it 8 straight now for Georgia? They've definitely taken a hold of that rivalry. There was a time from 89 to 99 where Tennessee had won all those matchups. So I believe that was 9 straight. So Georgia's right in the right there to be able to match it here with that streak. Could do that tomorrow. And it's just been incredible. Now, to Tennessee's defense, when they've played Georgia at this time, as we know, the Bulldogs have been pretty good. Georgia has been ranked number 7, number 2, number 3, number 3, number 1, and number 1 and number 12. So it's always against tough competition, but Georgia has not just won these games, they've won each game by at least 14 points. Last year, 31-14 in Athens. But previous scores are 38-10, 27-13, 41-17, 44-21, 43-14, 38-12, and 41-0. It's not just that they're winning; they're beating the brakes off of Tennessee more often than not.
Yeah, they sure are. One more note: Missouri is moving the game because of forecast extreme heat in Columbia tomorrow. They move it up from 12 o'clock to 12 o'clock, Bach, instead of 3. Missouri versus Louisiana tomorrow, Bob, because of the heat. I don't know how hot it was going to be in Nebraska, but it said it was going to be 91 today, which I can tell is not really by that time. 85 today, tomorrow, 93 at kickoff, Bob.
Woo! Yeah, it's going to be a hot one.
So guys better get a lot of hydrated fluid in them. When they haven't played at it's been kind of a weak August, and when I say that, and an even weaker September when we say about the heat days in Nebraska, because I know when we played in the 90s, it was probably a 95, 96 degrees still in September.
Yeah, and I can't complain. I kind of like it. I'm more into fall than I am the summer, so I've kind of enjoyed a little bit of a cool down. But you're right. I mean, it has been less of those days, which again, it can be a relief to a lot of football players, but it's not going to save you from the few days you have to go out there in the heat. So I'm interested to see, especially with tomorrow, obviously the black sidelines, maybe that kind of adds some additional heat for the opponent. But Nebraska will be wearing all red. So we'll see. Maybe it would be a good day with the heat to wear all whites. Of course, that's on the road, though, so they're not going to do that.
All right, Bock, let's go to break, and when we come back, we're going to start on hour number 2. Bock in the Black Shirt, 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Over 75% of the patients that come to Limitless Male have been told over and over again by their primary care providers that their testosterone level is fine. Guess what? If you have all the symptoms of low testosterone, you're not fine. Come get a second opinion at Limitless Male. We have helped tens of thousands of men feel optimal again, and we can help you. Stop waiting. Come see the men's health experts. Book your free consult online at limitlessmale.com.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Schwieso Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwieso Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwieso.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships, one with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Follow the Huskers to the City of Angels when Nebraska plays at UCLA in November. Book your official Nebraska alumni travel package at huskerfantravel.com. Choose from 2 or 3 night options that include a hotel in scenic Santa Monica, an exclusive welcome event, game day transportation, and the official Husker Huddle pregame party. Add on your game tickets for an optional upgrade. Transportation to and from LA is not included. Join the official Nebraska alumni trip to see the Huskers play at UCLA. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at huskerfantravel.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Bock the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley. Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. Bock the Blackshirt here. Bock, we got some great games this weekend.
Oh, yeah, we do.
We're going to have to make the choices in a little bit. Bock, any news from you?
No necessarily news from me. We've got, of course, if you haven't been part of Sunday nights, the Sunday night lineup is always fun. So I'm in on Sunday nights. We've got a new show debuting that you want to tune in for here at 10 o'clock. So we go from... Oh, well, I should say, because the ticket weekend programming goes all weekend long. But I go from 5 to 11 now on Sundays. So tune in if you want to. Sometimes I don't speak too much. I'm just behind the board. But once in a while I will.
Now, I guess the NFL pulled a sheet over our head last night. And when I say that, it's because I thought I got home around 8:30, 9 o'clock last night, Bock. Probably 9:30. Let's say 9:30, Bock. I get on. I see the North Carolina Wake Forest game, but then I see nothing about the NFL game. Not on my cable, not on my YouTube TV that I just paid $89 to watch. NFL is a joke. I hate watching the NFL. This is why I don't watch the NFL, Bob. They take you through too many hoops to watch one little simple Thursday night football that used to be free.
Yeah.
Now you got to get NFL Plus, NFL Live, NFL Remix, NFL Jump Back. Just show me the damn game.
Well, everybody wants a piece of the NFL. If you haven't paid attention, the NFL has the highest numbers of anybody, and it's not anywhere close. So, all these different places want to get a piece of it. And so they've kind of sold themselves here and there. And it does. It kind of stretches the viewer thin. It was kind of interesting, too. I went out to eat at, that's just no free shout outs, but your friendly neighborhood Applebee's, if you will. And I was surprised because when I went there, I told my wife, it's Thursday night football. It's probably crowded. I don't know if we want to go there. But we did, and they didn't have the game on either because I think it was on Amazon Prime. So, it just depends on, I'm sure certain places did, but even bars aren't, not all bars are going to go to the extent to make sure they've got every game covered. So it does kind of spread you thin. And last night's game was a good one, especially kind of leading up into it. The Packers obviously had beaten the Lions. So you kind of wonder, are they on top of the NFC North now? The Commanders, of course, made their run to the NFC Championship game last year. So this kind of felt like two teams that definitely could be in the mix for NFC champion this year, if not obviously Super Bowl champion, or at least playing in the Super Bowl. And it was a pretty good game. 27-18, the Packers ultimately won. But like you, there's a lot of people I think out there that probably didn't necessarily tune in for it. And the other thing is, these Thursday night games traditionally have been pretty bad. That's been kind of part of it is, all right, well, if you miss a game, it's the only game of the night, but it's always, I don't want to call anybody out, but I don't know, Carolina's been the butt of many jokes over the last couple of years. But now, that was a heck of a game. A heck of a matchup.
Is Green Bay a contender?
I think so. Now they did. it was a costly game for both teams because both teams lost some players. So they're going to have to find specifically, Jalen Reed, I think, for the Packers. So they're going to have to find somebody to kind of take over as their top receiving target with him potentially being out for quite some time. I was looking to see what the official word on him was, but it was a shoulder injury in the least there. So we'll see.
Broke his collarbone.
And then Washington, I think they're fearing they're going to see if their starting running back Austin Eckler tore his Achilles. That's the fear there. So some major losses on both sides potentially with injuries. And then of course but at least for Green Bay, not a loss on the scoreboard as they did beat Washington 27-18, and now 2-0 since the Micah Parsons trade. Two big wins. Going to easily be an 0-2.
Ben says the biggest bunch of crap is playoff games being on streaming platforms only. I get it. It's only the first round, but it's ridiculous. I'm with the black shirt.
Yeah.
8893 says, I love the intro. I miss Keith Jackson announcing Huskers. He was the best at it. Who would ever do it? You ever listen to Keith Jackson, Bock, or he's before your time?
No, he was actually at my time, if you will, when I first got introduced to college football. So he was the voice of
Nelly.
That's right. Even the college football video games that I first started playing there in the mid '90s. So he was my initial voice of college football, and still is. I mean, so you're right. If you ever heard him call a game, it was an absolute joy, and he called so many over the years for college football. That it's awesome, and I noticed that we kind of put that together when he said something complimentary. I said, "Oh man, we got to get Keith Jackson in the open." Nobody has the sound of college football more than him.
Yeah, the greatest. I also met him after a game one time. He's a nice guy. It's like he's the best for college football. John Madden was the best for NFL football.
Yeah. I would agree too, and part of that too is kind of can sometimes be who you're paired up with. I always like the pairing of Pat Summerall and John Madden. I thought that was incredible. But for Keith Jackson too, it's cool if you go to the Rose Bowl, and I know a lot of people will over the next several years, maybe this year, to go see Nebraska and UCLA. There is a statue of Keith Jackson out there. Of course, the granddaddy of them all that sort of stuff. I mean, he was a major proponent of the Rose Bowl and all that. So it's very cool to see him be kind of immortalized and kind of shown off as an icon there of the broadcasting industry in college football in front of the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I have to get the Colorado intro, Bock, what he gave me against Colorado. You got to listen to it. He talks about the Peter brothers and Grant Wisdom Thomas, but he said the man in the middle who flies all around. Terrell Farley, the junior college. I love that guy when he do it. Bill and Bennett says Lau and Greg Sharp were my two favorite callers for the Huskers. 3128 says, with as many ads they air during the game, I refuse to pay money for that. Eric says, Farley, why are you so angry? I'm angry for so many reasons today, Eric. Main reason I'm angry is because I'm not going to be able to go home and see my best friend who usually walks up to me and sits on the back porch with me for at least 2 to 3 hours while I just read Facebook and Twitter and things like that. Man, I'm just I've made it this long today. I'm going to make it a little bit longer today.
Yeah. It's a tough day. And I do. I mean, I salute you for coming in and working through this, because it can be hard to go to any job, after a dog passes away, but certainly one to kind of, hopefully it's more help than anything else to kind of talk some football, talk some sports, and kind of get your mind off it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to have to play a lot of Call of Duty today.
Yeah.
Probably going to have to play, bring out the black shirt jerseys on college football. All right, Bock, this is a heartwarming story for me. You probably would never see a kid do this right here. Indiana guard Lamar Wilkinson made a 6-figure donation to Sam Houston State after transferring to the Hoosiers. He's a former Sam Houston State player.
Oh, wow.
And they asked him why he did it. He said, I did it out of love, man. You will never probably hear a story like that. Stories like that don't get credit like they supposed to. All these kids, they do, some kids take, but do any gift back like a kid like this?
Yeah, it's incredible. I've seen some stories, and we even had one last week with I think it was Akron, and I'm not going to compare it to the exact same way, but they had a guy there that maybe was going to get some offers, and Akron was a team that was decimated this past offseason. I don't know if you could tell by some teams coming in and picking their best players, and they had one guy stick around, and And whether you stick around or do what's best for you, like him, I mean, he's going to move up. He's going to play in a better, bigger brand of college football and kind of be able to go and live his dream. But it's cool to be able to give back to those that helped you get there. And certainly he seems to have felt that, his first stop along the way, it shouldn't be something that's forgotten. He's not, turning a back on them. To be able to do that is incredible. And as we know, from conversations with Mickey Joseph, I'm not going to compare all the programs, but some programs, any donation like that can really go a long way. So, that is an awesome story. I've seen it a few different times though of kids that with the modern day transfer portal open, if you see a kid kind of stick through and stay with the college that provided him the initial opportunity, that's a very cool story as well. So I'm glad that you highlight those because it's not just in football, it's in everything, right? Where the kind of the negative stories get the most attention, the most clicks, all that sort of stuff. And then there's always these positive stories, and then people come around and tell you, well, I don't understand why the world's so negative. It is if you view it through that lens. But if you can try to find some of the better stuff, Ricky Simmons is great at kind of the get your happy on hour. Is his whole message is to stay positive, to find reasons and ways to stay positive. And so that kind of a bigger conversation, obviously, than what it maybe intended to have here. But the whole point is it's cool to see those type of stories, and I wish they did get a little bit more attention. So it's good to bring them up here.
All right, Buck. Now tonight, Deion Sanders. Do we have this game in the pick?
We can. It's a big game. I love tonight's lineup. Again, I always feel a bit like more of the
I think we should go to 12 games.
You think
Buck.
we can? We could this week if you want to. There's a whole load of games.
Yeah, there's a and I tell you this because this is what I said yesterday about the couch potato. This is couch potato Saturday. I'm not going to the game. I promise you that. I am not wasting my time around 90,000 people for a game that's going to be over by halftime. I'm sorry. I may tailgate a little bit. I may tailgate from. I'm on the air from 9:25 to 9:40. I might tailgate to 12 o'clock. After that, I'm going to the house.
I am interested just in general because I think a lot of people, obviously, this is the game secondary market of the year where you might be able to afford some tickets if you don't normally are able to do so. So you might have a little bit of a different crowd coming to this Houston Christian game than the Akron. But I wonder a few different things. How many people are going to go to both games, right? If you went last week, maybe you felt like it was fun, but did you get your serving of blowout football and might want to take this week off? And like you said, maybe chill from the couch and channel surf a little bit if the same thing happens. I'm also interested to see, last week, night game, night atmosphere, somewhat the novelty of blowing somebody out for the first time in a long time, the light show, everything that played into it, people kind of stuck around. Is there going to be more people walking out at halftime in this game? I think there probably will be. So I'm kind of interested in those side things. It's weird when you're not so much worried about the win and loss column, all the different things that your mind kind of shifts to for a game like this. And part of that even being attendance, not only attendance. They sold it out. You don't have to worry about the sellout streak. But kind of attendance throughout the game. And for me, and there's no way to measure this, but kind of double attendance, like you said. For me, I'm like, I didn't go. I didn't go last week. This will be my first time at Memorial Stadium since they're kind of bringing in the new concessions, beer lines, stuff like that. So I'm very intrigued to see what it looks like. But maybe even those very beer lines I'm talking about might hinder somebody that went last week and is expecting a very similar experience this week. Might just say, well, I'll give my ticket to a friend or a colleague or somebody that doesn't usually get to go, and I'll spend my time at home.
You should spend your time at home tomorrow. I might have some tickets for you next week, so you never know. I might have 2 tickets for you for the Michigan game, Bob.
Hey,
would you go?
I would absolutely go.
Who would you take?
Awesome. I'd probably take my wife.
So you leaving my little buddy out?
No, I take my son. Whoever you want me to take, I'll take with Michigan.
I think we get 2 extra tickets. I'm not sure. We'll have to see what about that next week. Like I said, tonight's game. You got how many games we got tonight for college?
There's a few of them, but there's 3 notable ones in my mind. Colorado, Houston, which you mentioned. Colorado going with their 3rd string quarterback here over to. That was one of the bigger offseason topics just in college football was who's going to win the Colorado starting quarterback job. Decorated freshman Julian Lewis lost it out in the preseason to Caden Salter, the transfer who has got lots of experience under his belt. And Ryan Staub actually came in and was 7 of 10 for 157 yards and 2 touchdowns against Delaware. The other quarterbacks weren't managing to get much done against the Blue Hens. And so they're going to go with Staub this week, but they're going to do so in a game where they're, again, on a Friday night on the road against a Houston team that's 2-0 and is favored in this game. So that game is intriguing to begin with. But there's a couple other ones too that I'd like to keep my eye on. Kansas State is 1-2. If they fall to Arizona tonight, they'd be 1-3. That would be a shock to a lot of people. A lot of people's pick to win the Big 12. They've got that game again at undefeated Arizona State. Wildcats favored by 2.5. And the last one that I don't necessarily expect it to be interesting, but if it does, it's interesting as a whole, is New Mexico and UCLA. Of course, UCLA 0-2 so far. A loss to New Mexico might just do it for UCLA's brass, and they might fire Deshaun Foster on the spot. $8 to get into that game.
Yeah, it's got 7 right here. That's not even the lowest game tonight, Bob. Colgate Syracuse.
Oh, wow, yeah.
$4.
There you go.
If I could get into a college football game for $4, I'll just go for one quarter. Especially a game like that. You have Indiana State at Indiana. Tickets as low as $25. Colorado and Houston, tickets low as $55. K-State and Arizona, $26.
See, those are more respectable prices than I can imagine. When it gets to $8, Adam Carrick, give him the credit. He said that hot dogs are more expensive than that at the game.
Yeah, Oregon versus Northwestern. How much you think they are, Bob? You see that?
This is at Northwestern because Big Noon's there.
Yeah, Big Noon.
And they have a smaller stadium.
$140, Bob.
Wow.
You think I'll pay $140 to go see you get smashed by 100 watching North Carolina? Now, Clemson, Georgia Tech, Bob.
This is at Georgia Tech.
At Georgia Tech, $84.
Okay.
Oklahoma at Temple, $41. Wisconsin at Alabama. Oh, my God. Bob, let's hop on a plane. Let's go down to Alabama today.
That cheap ticket?
41. Oh, hold on. $14.
$14. Imagine that as a Bama fan.
No.
That's trouble. That's in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah. $14.
Wow.
It says it right here in front of me. Central Michigan versus Michigan. $71.
The Connor Stallions game.
Houston Christian versus Nebraska. They say tickets are low as $13.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I never found a ticket that low in my life at Nebraska. Townsend versus Maryland. Woo, $6. William and Mary versus Virginia. $7. Bach, sometimes we need to just fly. We need to just fly around and go to games with the cheapest weather. Go in there for $6. Memphis versus Troy, $10. Stanford versus Baylor, $14. Buffalo versus Kent State, $14. South Alabama versus Auburn, $48. Louisiana versus Missouri, $28. Let's see a good one. Villanova versus Penn State, $36. Georgia versus Tennessee.
Not as cheap.
We're not going to that game, Bob. Yeah, $308.
Ooh.
$308. That's the highest game on the ticket this month. Pittsburgh versus West Virginia, what they call the backyard
brawl. Yeah.
134. Northwestern State at Cincinnati, $16. UTEP versus Texas, $48. Liberty versus Bowling Green, $29. Shoot, somebody needs to have some. Arkansas versus Ole Miss, $83. If I can find a ticket for $2, I'm going, Bob.
Well, of course, after
Duke at Tulane, $20.
$20.
Can't believe that. Air Force at Utah State, $30. Let's see. Minnesota at Cal, $22. Boston College at Stanford, $9. Texas State versus Arizona State, $11.
Yeah.
These are the cheapest. Why are we so high? Like, I mean, why? I mean, they say face value is what? for this game? $50?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Nah, I need to go check this as low as $13 because if I can get it, I might be up there where the lights at if I go way up there. But I'm scared of heights when they get that high.
I was gonna say, and on the secondary markets, after you paid the licensing and fee deals as well, that it's your $13 is gonna end up being 41 or something like that.
But yeah, you be sitting way up there in the nosebleed seats.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys. I never go to my seat anyway. I just walk around and be standing in the tunnel and everywhere.
See, I think I am actually sitting up in the nosebleeds this week. It's my first time to go up there, to the top of the stadium. And I don't know exactly where it is. I guess my friend's taking me, but I think I might bring some binoculars to see if that helps me out.
Yeah. I want to know some of the people that's on some people say that I want to know some people who's on text line right now. What's the worst seats you ever had at Memorial Stadium? How far up were you, and could you see, and was it a good experience for you? 4990 says costs more to get it at high school game here, where he's at. 3359 said, hold on. Messed that one up. 3359 says, if you guys don't play intro and took names out of it, Farley is Dave Chappelle's clone.
I think you sound like Dave Chappelle.
I love Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
My favorite, Half Baked, just his stand-up comedy.
Yeah, his stand-up comedy is fantastic. Yeah. His show.
Yeah, I missed that show.
Yeah.
The Chappelle Show. I need to get it back up. He said, JP says, never had a good seat being 6'4". Nate and Lincoln says, my first ever Nebraska game, my seat was behind a support beam under the press box. Oh my God.
See, it's weird because when you go like Memorial Stadium, I would like to say there's not a bad seat in the house, but and obviously you're enjoying the Husker football, but it's weird when you go from that, and that's kind of like my home stadium, if you will, right? The stadium I've been to the most games. 90,000 people at one time, now closer to 80,000 capacity or whatever it is. When you go from there to like stadiums that have like 54,000 capacity, then you really feel like there's not a bad seat in the house, because even if you're at the top of the nosebleeds, it's like being halfway up in Memorial Stadium. You're like, man, there's not a bad seat in the house.
Yeah, whatever. You say that now. It's some really good seats. If you ever had the sideline view seats, those are the best seats in the house to me. You probably can't see the other end zone, but I can watch it on the TV. But and also I can harass the visitors when they come out their locker room.
Yeah. Well, in those TVs that you mentioned too, Nebraska does a really good job of any stadium that I've been to, and I've been to more than 10, 12, whatever it might be. But I heard this a lot coming from Arrowhead Stadium. Is you really enjoy all the different screens that Nebraska provides to you, no matter where you're sitting and what angle you're looking at. You have a screen near to you so you can see the kind of the action on the field if you can't see it from your seat the best. It wasn't not the same. Even in an NFL stadium like Arrowhead, it was kind of tough to see. The screens were kind of smaller. I was underneath one to a degree, so it's tough to kind of angle to go back and look at it. So we are a little bit spoiled here with Memorial Stadium, but that's okay. That's the way we'd like it.
All right, let's go to break, Bock. And when we come back, I'm going to read some of these comments about these seats because, man, somebody just sent the picture, and it's not a good seat at all. You may want to get your money back, sir, for that seat. 93.7 The Ticket, Bock the Blackshirt. Be right back.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra-premium protein powder ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a few sprinkles possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It'll be breezy and hot with a high near 92. Tonight, mainly clear skies, a continued breeze, low around 71. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It'll be breezy and hot with a high near 94. I'm meteorologist Kyle Plecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through September 16th are $1 off ready-to-eat meals, 20% off all pasta, and 8-ounce grass-fed, grass-finished sirloins for $9 each. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Hi, this is Tom Osborne. Join me on September 23rd and dine at your favorite local Renza in support of Teammates Mentoring. 10% of Renza sales on September 23rd will benefit your local Teammates Mentoring chapter. Teammates Mentoring helps students reach their full potential by providing a caring adult mentor to meet with them once a week in school. Thank you for your support of Teammates Mentoring. We will see you at Runza on September 23rd.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
You're listening to Bock the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bock the Blackshirt here. All right, Bock, I'm going to read some of these questions, then we're going to get ready for our pick'em games this week. Text line. 8324, I say I love Memorial Stadium, tradition and history. But if we being honest with ourselves, any stadium built within the last 30 years has a better setup when it comes to seats and concessions.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree a little to a degree with that. I mean, I always like the older stadiums myself. They have, like you said, more nostalgia to it, more history to it. But obviously, they aren't set up as well for kind of modern day traffic and concerns that go on there. Again, I don't think it's terrible. I mean, people have to tell me, at least from my experience, I don't necessarily drink beer, so I don't know about the beer lines or anything like that. But I just don't find a whole lot wrong with Memorial Stadium that all these renovations and needs for that and all that talk about it. I get it. Again, I think it's more of an idea to modernize it and try to free up some of those things. But to me, I don't see a huge problem with it. But the new stadiums are incredible. I think, Minnesota was one that I went to a few years ago, and they've just built it within the the last decade or so. And it is. I mean, it's a lot easier to kind of, and more free to kind of move about and get to. And so that was a kind of stand up, maybe a take that I don't know how many people would have, but I thought the Minnesota Stadium was even more impressive than Arrowhead again. But they're thinking about maybe moving Arrowhead or moving on from Arrowhead, so maybe not such a surprise to others. Of course, in the NFL stadium, the positive is you got a seat back, so you kind of get to lean back and sit throughout the game. So that's always helpful.
All right, Bob. Hold on. Okay. Worst seat. This is who's this? 5685. Worst seat we had was in the middle of the visitor sections for Colorado during Frost's first year.
That would be definitely an interesting game to be a part of.
Cigar Guy says worst seat. Ooh, StubHub says they got tickets for $12.
Yeah, there you go. A little bit cheaper.
Cigar Guy says end zone, literally top row, back against the wall of the skybox. The walk up there sucks, but really the view was neat. Thomas Lincoln says up at the fence, had a migraine and slept.
That's not good to sleep through a game.
Eric says student section, but beside the band, very last row under the balcony, can't see any passes when the ball is in the air.
Yeah, I could imagine that under the balcony, especially those last rows. I could see that. That's where I used to sneak back to when I didn't have a seat when I was selling concessions when I was a kid.
Who's this right here? Barney says, this is my last seat for the last game. Big beam right in front of his face, Bob. A big beam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's under the balcony too. Yeah,
he's under there. I never seen those seats. Where are those seats at?
What are those under West Stadium or whatever, under the press boxes? But it's good because it is good on a day, especially when it's too hot or something like that. I've sat under there on heat days, and obviously you kind of get the shade from the balcony above you, so you kind of look around, everybody getting too hot, and you're just like, you can laugh a little bit there. But I can see the idea that other texter had, where sometimes you can't see the pass or the punts through the air.
All right, Bach, this one right here, 5334 says top of the lower bowl, West Stadium. The overhang from the press boxes, some of the field, and you have to watch it on a little TV hanging from a ceiling. Also agree, the support beams in the way.
So I think everybody's basically agreeing that's kind of the spot. That might be the worst seating at Memorial Stadium. I think that's fair.
Yeah. Gus Mohawk said, if you won the lottery, which one would you buy? A box suit or buy a row on the 50-yard line? I think I have to go up in the suites.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
if I'm rich, I'm going in the suites.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going up there just like what's his name? Governor Pillin. Be up there in them seats.
There you go.
I haven't sat in the seats in a long. I haven't been up there in a long time though. I haven't. All right, Bach, let's get ready to do our pick'ems. All right. Text line. Y'all are in the lead, 15-8. Bach is 14-9, and the black shirt is 13-10. This week, don't follow me. I'm gonna pick something wrong just to see how you guys pick, especially you, Bach.
All right, fair enough. I might make some picks out of the gate. I'll make them first, is what I'm saying, to avoid that sort of thing. So let's get some football music going. Text line. Remember, you're gonna have to help us out, as Terrell kind of said. You guys are part of this too. So first people to get their text line picks in, that's the one that we take from the text line. And so far, the text line has us beat on the season, so we need to catch up. This week we've got several games we're going to go over, and let's start off with one from this evening because I do think it would be a little bit interesting to have something on the stake tonight. I think the most interesting game, Colorado and Houston. Houston is favored by 4.5. Terrell, who you got there? Actually, I'll make my pick first, so I'll jump in front of it. I'll say Houston does get the win. Colorado, again, who began on their season as the third stringer. I wonder how long of a leash he has in this game.
I don't know, Bach. I've seen this guy play, so I'm glad you picked first because I'm going to take Colorado on this one. I think Deion goes back to one of those quarterbacks. I think this kid might have a great game. It's a 50-50 toss-up, so guess what? Yeah. I'm going with Colorado for the upset.
Going with the Buffaloes. Looks like the text line, Bill and Bennett was first with Houston on that pick. All right, let's go to Clemson and Georgia Tech. Clemson obviously not off to the best start. Already a loss on the season and a scary one against Troy last week. This week now they have to go at Georgia Tech, where Brent Key and company is there. He's already kind of made a name off of beating some of the higher ups. I think the Ramblin' Wreck get the win this week. The text line, Richie Rich, first one to text in saying Clemson gets the win. What say you, Terrell?
I say, come on, Bob. You know where I'm from. I'm from the state of Georgia. Georgia Tech, UGA, who else? Spelman College, Georgia State, Georgia Southern, Kennesaw State, Richie Rich. I am sorry, sir. You are wrong, but I am going with Georgia Tech.
All right, fair enough. Let's get to Georgia and Tennessee, maybe the game of the week. Again, Georgia's won 8 straight of these. This one is in Knoxville. Tennessee, Georgia, a 3.5 point favorite here.
Dalton picked Georgia. Way to go, Dalton. And you know what I'm picking.
Some more biting Bulldogs. I like the pick. I'm a big Georgia fan.
I don't like the biting part. My dog just got bit yesterday. Well, don't say biting. All right, I'll just go with Georgia.
A little bit
I'm going to leave the dog out of it.
Yeah, there we go. I'll just go, but I am going to go with Tennessee. I do think this is the year that Tennessee gets the upset bid. Still a little bit worried in my mind how Georgia looked against Austin Peay. So I'm going with Tennessee to get the victory there. Let's jump into Miami and South Florida. Number 18, South Florida against number 5, Miami. Miami, big favorite here, 17.5. But South Florida hasn't let that bother them so far this season. Remember this game on the CW? Find that if you need to this week. I'll go ahead and jump in front of it. I'm not going to pick South Florida for the upset, so I'm going with Miami. However, the text line already jumping in with South Florida. Nolan Border and Bill and Bennett both picking South Florida.
Hey, I love what South Florida is doing for college football right now, but guess what? I'll be an idiot to sit there and pick against Miami. Let's go to U.
There you go, with Miami there with the pick for you. All right, let's jump into another game here. Would have been a little bit more interesting had Florida beaten South Florida last week, but that makes that game more interesting. Still interesting. Florida at number 3, LSU. Can the Gators bounce back? The Bayou Bengals, a 7.5 point favorite in this game. I'll go ahead and pick LSU in this one.
You'll pick LSU? LSU and who?
LSU and Florida.
Ooh, that's going to be a good one.
Thomas and Lincoln picks LSU for the text line.
I'll stick with LSU, too. I'll stick with LSU.
All right, we're halfway there. 5 games already picked, and we've got a few more. Let's get to another ranked matchup. Texas A&M at Notre Dame. Notre Dame already has a loss in the season. They did not bounce back yet. This is their second game of the year against Texas A&M.
Where are they playing at?
This is in South Bend. This is at Notre Dame. All that being said, I've been talking all year about Marcel Reed. I think he's got some special moments in him. I think this is one of them. I'm going with Trev Alberts and the Aggies.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Aggies, too, on this one.
Oh, wow.
I'm not believing in Notre Dame yet.
There we go. And it looks like Bill and Bennett was the first to pick the Aggies, and, well, Johnny Cortland joins him. Old Dad 34, sticking with Notre Dame, but the text line is leaning toward A&M at this point. So, interesting pick there. Let's jump on to this game, a late night one. Minnesota at Cal. Minnesota only favored by 2.5. Remember, they're going to play at 9:30 time here locally. So it will be a late one for Minnesota fans. Cal's got a freshman quarterback that's looked good so far. All that being said, I'm still rowing the boat. Text line going with Cal right away, though.
Minnesota.
Yeah, go with Minnesota there. Good pick. So that is 7 games in. We've got a few more games that we can get to round it out. Let's go with Vanderbilt at South Carolina. South Carolina only a 2.5-point favorite here, despite being number 11 in the country. Vanderbilt unranked, but they've sure talked a lot this offseason. Can they get it done here? You know what, Terrell? You can pick first on this one.
Who is this?
Vanderbilt in South Carolina.
South Carolina. I wouldn't dare go for Vandy.
All right, fair enough. Looks like we have Bill and Ben again pick Vanderbilt for the text line. So there you have it there. And we've got another one here, I think, of interest. Arkansas at Ole Miss. Mississippi favored by 6.5. Do we see an upset bid in that game?
Who is this now?
This is Arkansas at Ole Miss.
Arkansas at Ole Miss. Arkansas got a good quarterback. And they got a good offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Let's go Arkansas.
Oh, woo pig suey going with Arkansas on the upset there. I'm going to stick with the favorite. I'm going to stick with Ole Miss. I always like Lane Kiffin and what he usually brings. They usually beat the lesser opponents. On the text line, we've got nothing but Ole Miss flooding the text line for that pick. So that is 9 games, and we need one more. I originally had Wisconsin and Alabama here, but I don't think anybody's going to pick Wisconsin. They're down their starting quarterback. Alabama's up 20.5. So let's jump in. You want to do 2 on a Friday night? We've got another interesting game Friday night. All right, let's do Kansas State 1-2 against Arizona. Arizona at home. Kansas State favored by 2.5.
I think Kansas State needs this one. I think Kansas City takes it. K-State.
There we go. Text line, we're waiting for the K-State against Arizona pick. I am also thinking the Wildcats, as we used to call them, get the win here. It feels like there's more pressure on them to get the win. So we will see here. Looks like a mixed batch from the group, but it looks like Arizona, the first. John and Cortland picking Arizona for the win. So that is 10 games down. We usually pick the spread. There is no spread between Nebraska and an FCS opponent. So that's where we are. Good 10 games underway. 2 to pay attention to here on a Friday night.
Yeah, that's who I'm going with.
There we go. I'm going to end that music and start the out music.
All right, we didn't do the Nebraska. We're not doing the.
Well, there just is no spread.
Yeah, good. So, Thank you. They don't need to be a spread.
What do you if I put it at 52.5? What do you think?
52.5? No,
we're not counting this one. I'm just throwing it out there.
You never know what we get out of this.
Yeah.
All right, 93.7 the ticket. Bock in the black shirt. Last segment of the day. All right, let's go to break.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through September 16th are $1 off ready-to-eat meals, 20% off all pasta, and 8-ounce grass-fed, grass-finished sirloins for $9 each. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired.
Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Oh, Kansas. Here we go.
If I could have today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds, 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
God can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
This just in. Hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has expanded strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today. We're raising the bar with these benches. And our hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all the best-in-class equipment we've always had. There's no better time to get stronger. So join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Find your nearest club and join today. Deal ends September 12th.
See Home Club for details.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. Nebraska tomorrow versus Houston Christian, all red blood moon uniforms. Is that what they call it, Bob?
Yeah, I think that's what they're calling. They at least put out a picture of a blood moon.
They come up with anything. They come up with anything.
Yeah, kind of interesting, though, because this was an internet rumor, and usually those simply can circulate from somewhere, maybe on the inside, leaking out some information. To see it come together is incredible. Again, it might not be it might be a small detail for many in a blowout game, but I just my whole life, I'm 35 years old. I've always wanted to see the all red uniforms, and we finally bring them out.
All right, Bach. Nebraska head coach Matt Rule celebrates major NCAA transfer portal change. Are you happy with that, Bach?
It's interesting because there's still a battle going on. I mean, you get from one topic to the next, and the Big Ten and the SEC are always kind of debating about one thing or the next. I know Ohio State coach Ryan Day said that he was not a fan of the proposal to open the transfer window January 2nd for a 10-day period because he's concerned about the difficulty of assembling a roster for the next season that while they are still competing in the playoffs. And of course, that's something Ohio State expects to do annually is be in the playoffs. He said a majority of the Big Ten coaches and Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti agree with him. LSU coach Brian Kelly said his fellow SEC coaches are unanimous in their support of shifting to the January portal period. So it's kind of interesting. And not every coach and every conference has to believe in the same thing. But at least for me, and I get it. I mean, I get the idea. There's no ideal situation when you're still doing with, at that time, school transfers and getting enrolled in the next semester and all that. So it is no great way to do it. It would make it a little bit more difficult for those playoff teams. I still don't like the idea, like we saw last year, Bo Pribula transferring out of Penn State when his team's still in the championship race. So it's not perfect, but it's far better than what we've got now. And I think as long as we're moving, taking steps forward as far as organization and continuity and all that, and not backwards, it's probably a step in the right direction. And just for most coaches in general, I don't know, the timing of the 10-day transfer portal period might be up for debate, but I think everybody's unanimous in saying let's limit this to maybe one.
All right, Bock, a lot of people are talking about the Big Ten week slate this week, raises questions about non-conference scheduling strategies. When they talk about it, they said that not enough teams are testing themselves outside of league play. Yet the SEC moved to 9-game schedule starting in 26, which will continue to require its league members to play at least one non-conference game against a Power 4 or Notre Dame, something the Big Ten doesn't mandate.
Yeah, I mean, I like how the narrative just kind of shifts. The SEC's been ducking that for years, and now all of a sudden it's the Big Ten who are the bad guys who are playing the soft schedules. Again, they did that, and they have done that out of a reaction to the SEC and feeling like they're on the same page as the SEC, and the SEC wouldn't budge. They would say their conference is too hard to get through and wouldn't play that 9th game. Now that they are, again, now that puts pressure on the Big Ten, I expect the Big Ten to follow suit, because the idea for the Big Ten has always been let's have it be fair. It is still funny, though, because if you look at, those schedules, and we can say the SEC is overrated, there's too many teams, that gauntlet stuff is all a joke. And then, on the other hand, you look at Florida's schedule or Oklahoma's schedule and you go, man, that is a gauntlet. So, the truth probably does lie somewhere in the middle. I think an SEC schedule, more often than not, is going to be more difficult than any other conference. The Big Ten certainly has an argument. But even if you kind of look at it, and it's funny too, our narratives change because the SEC had won all those championships, and people would argue, hey, they're just top heavy. That's just Alabama doing it. Of course, there were other schools, LSU, Florida, Georgia, that were winning championships too. But now you look at it, 3 of the top 4 teams are in the top 25 are in the Big Ten. So maybe they're just top heavy because there are 11 teams in the SEC that are ranked, which is a new conference record. So it's just kind of funny how these things go circular. Again, similar to kind of the previous conversation with the transfer portal. Let's get everybody on the same page. Let's kind of get similar schedules set up for each of these conferences, or at least the conferences that are on the same levels. And that's going to be in the Big Ten's court to kind of do that moving forward. But, these soft schedules from Michigan and Ohio State in their championship years, Indiana, the last couple of years, Nebraska moving forward, obviously taking Tennessee off of them. I think that's going to dissipate now that the SEC has agreed to play fair ball.
Yeah, Grambling State got $1 million from Ohio State. This week, Indiana State is earning $475,000 for playing Indiana. Houston Christian is getting $500,000 for visiting Nebraska. Montana State returned from its season opening trip to Oregon with a 59-13 loss and a $680,000 paycheck.
Yeah, not bad. And these schools, again, rely on them. And that's what's kind of interesting in any sort of model as we talk about moving forward. I've said it with the Big Ten and SEC expanding, and you've only got 12 regular season games. I think they should play all conference games. I think that'd be more exciting, more entertaining, more even as far as kind of setting things up for a playoff down the road. The problem with that is, of course, you're going to start alienating some of those other schools, and they rely a whole lot on these type of paydays to go take a loss in the big stadiums. And so that's kind of been the model for years. The big schools, have kind of taken care of the smaller schools, allowed them usually not getting a return trip. I'm not expecting Nebraska to ever play at Houston Christian and get any money out of it, right? So it's interesting to see kind of how that plays out. And I know Matt Rule is in favor of that as far as playing one FCS team a year, just because it can help that level of football continue to grow and continue to expand and maybe be allowed to have a little bit of fun in the NIL era. But I don't think you can, as a whole, you can't look out for the entirety of college football. You kind of got to look out for yourself because that's what everybody else is going to do. So we'll see. I think at some point we might see the elimination of that, but the Big Ten, as of right now, they might continue to mandate or want you to play an FCS opponent, year after year.
All right, we'll see you at pregame tomorrow here, starting at the ticket at 8 a.m. Early game tomorrow, 11 a.m. versus Houston Christian, FS1 TV. It's going to be hot, folks. Get you some water. You can bring liquids in the game, only a water cap still on it. They'll let you bring that in the game, but don't drink too much beer when it's hot outside. 93.7 the ticket, Bock The Blackshirt. Have a great Friday.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say it's the Honda of Lincoln.